Hello guys, let's continue with our measurement project. So for question 6, we have this shape. That's the bottom part of the kite pole. And it asks you to get the area of both sections. So I think that's the area inside this part. So let me just annotate this for you. So let's get the area inside this one. So it should be this one here. Yeah. So that's the area inside this one. So we can say so that's 4 half circle, including, and also we have the rectangular. Yeah. So for area of circle, yeah. So for area of circle, yeah, area of circle. Yeah, what equation do we use? So use pi r square. So we know 10 would be the radius. We know 10 would be the diameter. So our radius would be half of diameter, which would be 5 centimeter. Yeah. So you substitute it into the equation. So that's for a circle. But we have, so that's for one circle, that's 25 pi. Yeah. But what we have 2 circles. So area of circle, that would be 50 pi, yeah? Because you double 25 pi would be 50 pi. And you're also including, so the area of rectangular. So because we know the side length is 10, so you need to plus the area of, so that's 10 square, yeah? Because, yeah, so that should be 50 pi plus 100. Yeah, so that should be your answer for inside. And for outside, so that would be much easier. So we just use the where the big rectangular. Yeah. So we use a big square. So that's 20 square. Yeah. So that's 20 square. You minus the area inside. So that's area inside. Yeah. So area outside will be the outer square, the area of outer square, which would be 20 square, and minus the area inside. So that would be your first question. And for the second question, so it asks you to get the length that will be covered in the gold paint. So you need to include all the solid lines in the diagram. Yeah. So you do not include the dotted line. So what do you do for this one? So yeah, so for all the solid line. So that's also the circle. Yeah. So for circle, so here we have 4 half circle, which means we have 2 circle. Yeah. So for this one, for circumference of circle, that would be pi times d. Yeah. So that would gives you 10 pi. Yeah. And you need to use a calculator to get your answer. And but we have 2 circle, so you need to use 10 pi. Yeah, times by 2. So because it's 2 circles, that's 25. Yeah. But do we finish? No, we are not finished. And you also need to add the circumference. You also need to add the length, total length of the outer square. Yeah. So that will be, so for this 20 pi, then you also use 20 pi plus 20 times by 4. Yeah. So because 20 is your side length, yeah, 20 is your side length here, and all the side lengths together will be 20 times by 4. Yeah, so you should get your area. So that's we finished question 6. And for question 7, so let's have a look. Okay, so you have a swimming complex. So look like this. Yeah, and it's a special inflatable optical course. Yeah, and that's a general design. But we just quickly look at question 7. So question 7, it asks you to determine the volume of each teeth. So what does teeth mean? So, okay, so this is one teeth, yeah. Yeah, so this is the second teeth, and this is the third teeth. So basically, what can you do? So it's just a cross-sectional area and times by the height, yeah. So what you need to be careful about the unit. So you need to use the same unit because here is centimeter, here is meter. So what I do, so I just change 150 centimeter to 1.5 meter. Yeah, this one is 0.9, 0.5, 2 meter, yeah, and 0.7 meter, yeah, and 1 meter, yeah. So this makes your life easier. So we first get the area, cross-sectional area. So because it's triangle, so you use A equal 1/2 times by the base times by the height. Yeah. So I just calculate the first one. So for example, for the first one, so that's 1/2 times by the base is 1.5 times by the height would be 0.9. Yeah. So you got the area for the first one, second one, and third one. You add them together, then you times by the height. So that will be your total volume. Yeah. Okay. So in the first question, it's asking you to guess the volume of each one. So you got the area of the first one. So you times by the height. So that will be the volume of the first one. Then you do, okay, so I just show it to you here. So the volume, yeah. So I just write 1, yeah, 1 equals A1 times H, yeah. So you just use A1 times by H. So that's A1 times by 2.5. Yeah. Then yeah, you got A V1. Then you can get the second volume, third volume. For question B, you just add all them together. That's it. That's easy. And for question 8, so we have this cylinder. Yeah. And it asks you to guess the volume of this optical. Yeah. So for the volume of cylinder, so the equation you can use. So what you can do, so you can get cross-sectional area. So the times by the height. So you can just use the volume here as pi r square. That's a cross-sectional area times by the height. Yeah. So times by the height. So 100 centimeter is your radius. Yeah. So this is radius, but we want to use the same unit. So you need to change 100 centimeter to 1 meter. Yeah. So 1 meter is your radius and 2.5 is your height. Yeah. So you just substitute. So that's pi times 1 square times by 2.5. Yeah. Then you do the calculation, you get the volume. Yeah. And for do you have another question? Yeah. Okay, so for question 9, it asks you to guess the volume of the staircase. So for the volume, okay, so you need to pay attention to this, 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 and this. That means they have the same length. Yeah. So same length for each stair and for each the height. It's the same. So how can we do this one? So if we look at horizontally, yeah. So we can just draw it here. Yeah. So this side will be the same as this one. This side will be the same as this one. This side would be the same as this one. Yeah. So what do we have? So because we know this side is 2.1 meter, so we can divide by 3. Yeah. So 2.1 divided by 3 is the length of this one. So 2.1 divided by 3. So this length is 0.7. So I just write 0.7 here. Yeah. And for the height, it's the same. So the height of this one is 0.7 as well. Yeah. So yeah, so for this one is also the same. This is 0.7. So we just get the area of this part. Oh, sorry, I just used a different color. We just get the area of this part. So because because you know each side is 0.7, right? So it's just 0.7 square. Yeah, so that's A1. Yeah, so that's A1. Yeah, so that's A1. So that's this part. And I just use a different color for the second part. I use green for this part. Yeah. So you know the horizontal side is 0.7. So that's A2. Yeah, equals 0.7 times by the height. The height it will be 1.4. Yeah. Because this one plus this one, yeah, will give you 1.4. So times 1.4. So that's A2. And for A3, it's very similar as well. So for A3, it's just I just use a different color. Yeah. Let me just find a different color. So I use, yeah. So for A3, it's this part. Yeah. So A3 equals 0.7 times by 2.1. Yeah, because this side is 2.1 and it's the same as this side. Yeah. So that will be 2.1. Yeah, so you get the area of A1, A2, A3. So the total cross-sectional area. So I just use a different color. So I use blue. So for total area, so it will be equals A1 plus A2 plus A3. Yeah. Then that's a total cross-sectional area. And for the volume, you times by the height. So just use a different color. Yeah. So for volume equals A times by H. So H will be your 2.5 meter. Yeah. That's your H. Then you substitute, you get your answer. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, so let's look at question 10. So in question 10, we explore the whole inflatable. So which is the previous thing here. Yeah, so that's this part. Yeah. So what do we do here? Okay, so you want so for this question, obstacle not discussed in detail for trapezium prism with a hole that has a volume of 2.5. Yeah. And you need to use your previous answers to find the total volume of the whole inflatable. You do not forget to include the base and the volume of the obstacles in the questions. So you need to find the total volume. Yeah, so for the total volume, so yeah, because before, so we already calculate the area of the volume of this one, the volume of this one, the volume of this one, and they also tell the volume of this one is 2.55, right? So you know all the four volume, and also you need to add this one. I just use a different color. Yeah. So you need to add. Yeah. You need to add this bit. Yeah, you need to add this one. So how to get the volume of this red part? Because you know the base is 2.5 meter for the base, because this is the base. Yeah, and first it's the same. We just calculate the cross-sectional area of this part. So cross-sectional area. Yeah, I just change it to back to pen. Yeah, so cross-sectional area of the base will be length times width. So that will be 12.5 times by 1, still 12.5. Yeah, meter square. And you know the height, the width is 2.5. So for the volume of the base, so that's A times by the H. So that's 12.5 times by H is 2.5. Yeah, then you do the calculation. So we got the area of the base, and you also get all the other area of the obstacles. So you add all the, you got the volume of the base, and you also know the volume of the obstacles. So you just add them all together. Yeah, you got your total volume. So you finish the first question. Yeah. So you finish the part A, you got the total volume. So for example, the total volume of part A would be like, for example, yeah, it would be 58 meter cube. Yeah. For example, that's not the real answer. I just give you an example. And for question B, yeah, so it's ask you to inflate up and running. So we have a air blower, so able to operate at the rate of 35 meter square or meter cube per hour. And we want to find how long does it take for the inflatable to be filled with air. Yeah, so you need to answer this one in hours and in minutes and round it to the nearest minute. So for question B, how do we do it? So we just use the total volume, yeah, divided by the rate. So that gives you the time. So we can write time equals volume divided by the rate, yeah, divided by the rate, yeah. So we know the total volume is 58 divided by the rate is 35. Yeah. So you can use your calculator. Yeah. So in your calculator, let me have a look. There's my calculator. Yeah. So we can use 58 divided by 35. So that gives me an answer of 1.657 hours. Yeah. So how can we convert it into hours and minutes? So we know it's 1.6 hour. So we do not worry too much about the hour. So we know it's 1 hour. Yeah. So we know it's 1 hour, but for minutes, so we use 0.657. Yeah, because 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we use this number times by 60. So that will gives you the minute. Yeah. So that would gives you, yeah, what, I mean, times by 60, yeah. Okay, so you will have 39.4, yeah, sorry, 39.4 minutes. And before that, we have 1 hour, yeah. So it's 39.4 because it's nearest minutes, and it's 1, so it's a whole number. And so the first decimal is 4, it's less than 5, so we round it down, yeah. So it's roughly 39 minutes. So your final answer would be 1 hour. I just use a different color, yeah. So your final answer would be 1 hour and 39 minutes. Yeah. 39 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So that's all the questions. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. So if you have any further question, so this Friday, yeah. So I will meet you at period 4. So we will discuss your questions on Zoom. Okay. So hopefully see you there. Yeah.